Hello, I'm Jasmine Sutherland, and as of this recording, I am a senior at the Florida Agriculture and Mechanical University School of Journalism and Graphic Communication, and this is your Legal Launchpad. Did you know that Florida A&M University's College of Law has the lowest in-state tuition than any other school in the state of Florida? In fact, since its reopening in 2002, it has graduated more than 1,800 minority students and has produced over 1,200 minority licensed attorneys in the state of Florida. So you may be asking yourself, do I have what it takes to be among those impressive numbers? In today's episode, we sit down with Dr. Erika Hill, the director of FAMU's Legal Scholars Program, and we talk about the ins and the outs of the FAMU College of Law's admissions process. This is your Legal Launchpad.
Your Legal Launchpad.
Hi, welcome to your Legal Launchpad by FAMU Law School. I'm your host, Jasmine Sutherland, and I'm so excited to be sitting here with my guest today. I have Dr. Erika Hill, who is the Director of Admissions and Recruitment at FAMU Law School in Orlando, but she's also the Director of Pre-Law Programming for the Legal Scholar Program at Florida A&M University in Tallahassee. Ms. Hill, Dr. Hill, how are you doing today?
I am well. And I'm honored to be your first guest.
Thank you so much for being here with us. We're going to be diving into the topic of law school, admissions, what students need to know, prospect students who are interested in FAMU Law School, or even interested in getting into a law program. What should they be looking into? So I want to start first with your career path. I want to go way back to the beginning, right? So I want to know what inspired you to pursue a career in law school admissions and recruitment, and how has your role evolved over the years?
Okay. Actually, this was very organic for me. It was an organic process. I met someone whose husband worked at a law school while I was working at the Department of Elder Affairs in the communications office.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started there as a communications liaison. And as I was getting ready to transition and wanted to broaden my skills in some other areas, she suggested that I contact her husband, who was a director of communications for the law school at Florida State.
Okay.
Took me a while because I liked what I was doing at that time. But as time went on and I was progressing academically, I decided, okay, go ahead. I sent him a message. Unfortunately, I waited too long, and his position at the law school was closed. However, he, unbeknownst to me, sent my resume to the admissions office.
Wow.
There. Had never done that type of thing before. And I got a phone call to say, hey, we wanted to interview you for a position that we just created. And they created an assistant director of admissions at the FSU College of Law. And that was in 2000.
Did they create that position specifically for you?
I think they were in the process of doing something. So this just gave them a candidate. So, I mean, they put it out there and went to the interview. It was my first panel interview. It was about 5 people there. And sat in there and I was like, okay, if it's for me, it's for me.
Talk about divine timing and alignment.
And it worked out. So again, that was in July of 2000. So I was the assistant director there for 2 years. After 2 years, I got a promotion to associate director. My total time there was about 8 years. And then I wanted to go back to school and finish my master's degree.
Okay.
So I took a small hiatus, but ended up, again, organically coming back to it. So that's how I started law school admissions.
Okay. That is a journey. How do you think your role has evolved as far as like what you do for the schools, your experiences?
Well, yes, I always tell people a larger public school, and FAMU is still a public school as well. But, you know, being, as I say, I can see on both sides of the veil, if that really makes sense. So I think my experience there prepared me for my experience here, because of what I didn't say. The last year there, the director left. So then I had the opportunity where I was interim director for a year. So I was able to gain that experience of not just collaborating with someone, but also setting the tone for the office,
Leadership.
and the agenda for that. So that set me up for when I came here. And that's an interesting story too. But I was supposed to be second in charge. But again, fate had it where as soon as I got here, the person who was here, his career changed. So I was back into a director seat again. I was reluctant at first, but again, I think some things are very providential, and God sets the path for what He wants you to do. So it was back in that seat again, being able to, again, along with the dean, of course, who sets the vision and mission for the law school, to decide what we could do from there. And my thing was to bring in students who were well qualified but could definitely add to the body here conversations and make sure that we do what we're supposed to do as a mission law school of bringing students in.
That's an amazing journey.
Your legal launchpad.
Hi, my name is Brice DeVault, and I am a 1L here at FAMU College of Law. I'm also a double rattler who attended Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University for undergrad, and I got my Bachelor's of Science in Broadcast Journalism. Before deciding on FAMU College of Law, I wanted to know that the mantra, excellence with caring, was going to be upheld here in Orlando, just as it was on the main campus. While deciding on pursuing my JD, I wanted to know what individuals I would see here as a student at the FAMU College of Law.
Your legal launchpad.
I feel like leadership is just attracted to you,
Yeah,
like a magnet.
I can say that I can't run from it, right? So then I just embrace it. And I think even being in leadership, you have to learn to follow. So I've been blessed to work with some phenomenal people, colleagues in other offices, whether it's our financial aid, our registrar's office, our communications office here. We kind of all work as a team. So we sit down and we kind of plot out what we're going to do together. One thing that I always say, no matter what job that I'm in, is that recruitment is everybody's job. You know, I can go out, I can meet the students, I can talk to them, but they can come in here and they can have a bad experience somewhere else. So all the efforts that we put in could be for naught. So again, that's why working collectively with the people in your office, in the building, again, we all do this together. So the best thing I think about working here at FAMU Law is you're not working in silos, that you can pick up the phone and say that you're working on something, and there's always an admissions or recruitment piece in there. So
Do you think leadership is a calling that anyone can step into?
I think leadership is nurture and nature. So I also teach professional development as an adjunct on main campus. Sometimes I put my students in groups for assignments, and I observe. I observe who decides that they're going to be the speaker, or the person who has gone and pulled up the information and put it together
Research
to say, hey,
behind
we're
the
going to do this
scenes.
first, right? That I pay attention to those small aspects when they're together. And most of the time, I can tell who's going to just be emerged to be a leader. But then on the other hand, they're given the opportunity and put in place and not waiting for them to volunteer. Then yes, that's that nurture part that's going to bring parts out of students that they don't even know they have. So in short, I think we all have leadership aspects.
We just have to get the opportunity to,
We
and
need
someone
the
sees that in us.
opportunities, sometimes a little nudging to do it, and sometimes people are reluctant. But the good thing is that the relationships that I have with my students, they always come back, and I'll have a conversation to say, hey, thank you for this, or I would not have talked to this person. I would not have taken this opportunity. I would not have put in for this particular job. But now I think it's just the encouragement that they have and the support to say, and one of my things I tell my students is that you can do hard, right? You can do hard. We can do hard. Sometimes we try to avoid those type of things because it's going to take too much time, or what if I fail, is all of these other parts. But we can do hard. And I think when they realize that and they understand who they are, then the leadership part comes second nature.
And the way your journey started, someone saw that in you and nudged you in the same way.
Absolutely. I have, and I say this knowing that it had nothing to do with me. Every job that I've had that was in leadership, I didn't apply. Someone has recommended me. And so, and I don't take that lightly at all, because it is that somebody has saw something in me to recommend me for a job. Now, there are jobs that I applied for that I never got. And I just say I knew I was qualified for, but I didn't get it. So I know that, again, there's another hand in there.
Absolutely. I want to talk about your educational background and in leadership and applied social sciences. Like, how does that influence your approach in admissions and recruitment?
Okay. My undergraduate degree, my first degree, is from Florida State. I was going into the medical field, so I did rehabilitative services.
Wow.
My mom, my sister, my grandma, everybody was nurses. Thought I was going to put my hand in that, and didn't end up going that particular way. So my master's degree is in public administration. So of course, it's talking to people, seeing what the problems are, doing a lot of civic engagement. That was a big piece that I think turned some things for me when I was doing that master's program at FAMU. Is that civic engagement? We would bring up a problem and we would go to classrooms. I went to high schools, I went to other colleges outside and had conversations with students just about basic things, and getting kind of, I don't say the pros and cons, but sort of debate style to see both sides of it, just to get them interested and letting them know that they have a voice. So that kind of matriculated into, okay, I think I want to do the leadership thing. I also, I guess you can say she has a million jobs. I volunteered to work with FAMU's Rural Court for a couple of years. So I was one of their co-advisors. And I think that was a big impetus on what I decided to do for my dissertation, which is on-campus employment and how that helps with student engagement and leadership development.
Can you go into the role for those who don't know?
For the role of the advisor?
Yeah.
Oh, so advising for the Rural Court, it would be advising, they apply for those jobs. Well, it's an election process on main campus. They spend money, they have campaigns. You have Mr. FAMU, Miss FAMU,
Yes.
and it ends up being, I think it's about 14 students. So you're putting sometimes 14 students together who may know of each other, but they don't really know each other, and they're spending a year together. I used to say that sometimes I thought they may have been based on popularity and not preparation. And not to say that all of the students didn't have skills, but I was just sitting back and even watching our student government process of how things are done. And it's like, what if we just had a small intentional piece of teaching leadership skills to our particular students? So even in that role, had the opportunity still to have conversations with the students. Sometimes it was a lemon squeeze, sometimes it was just discussions, getting to know them, asking them, what their fears are, what they want to do, and then having conversations or being intentional and trying to help them accomplish that outside of that role for them as a student, not as the person who was in the position.
Yeah, your approach is very nurturing. It's definitely a nudge, a spark of interest that really sparks things up for the students. And I love that. And I feel like as law students, they need that, because law school can be so discouraging sometimes with the amount of workload, the imposter syndrome, the scheduling. It could be a lot. So you need someone around you that can cater to your leadership, cater to your goals and ambitions, and really steer you into the right place.
And it's that, but it's letting them see that they already have that.
Absolutely. It's already in them.
It's them, just somebody shining the light on, again, that you can get this done. In my professional development class, I have two. I have beginning and the advanced. One of them, my advanced, are juniors and seniors. And about 85% of them are applying to law school. And, that kind of just happened because of social sciences. But, they're applying to law school. So I kind of get the double dip from the job that I have of recruiting and then teaching. So there's a reinforcement, and especially talking about getting the skills ready that they're going to need for law school.
Those kids get special treatment, if you ask me.
Some would say yes, some would say
Your Legal Launchpad by Florida A&M University College of Law. Origin, Jasmine Sutherland. Hosts, Amber Newsom and Jasmine Sutherland. Producers, Crystal Eugene, Cynthia Germain, Kayla Joseph, and Leanna O'Sullivan. Camera, Kayla Joseph and Leanna O'Sullivan. Audio, Riley Gibson. Set design, Crystal Eugene and Cynthia Germain. Editing, Riley Gibson. Intro voice actress, Briché DeVault. Credits voice actor, Riley Gibson. Executive producers, Mildred Graham and Robin Holmes.
Hi, I'm Amber Newsom. Thank you for tuning in to your Legal Launchpad. Stay tuned for the next episode where we will continue to discuss admissions with Dr. Hill. See ya!